Have you ever walked past an old building or seen a historical monument and felt a whisper from the past? Imagine if the very stones themselves could speak, sharing secrets from centuries, even millennia ago. Well, today, we're embarking on an extraordinary journey back in time to a place where history does speak through stone, ancient India. We're about to uncover the fascinating stories etched into ancient Indian inscriptions, a world waiting to be deciphered. Think of these inscriptions as the ultimate time capsules. They're not just random carvings. They're deliberate messages left by forgotten empires, powerful rulers, spiritual leaders, and even ordinary people. From grand declarations of peace to everyday records of land grants, these ancient writings preserve languages we no longer speak, rituals we no longer practice, and beliefs that shaped entire civilizations. They are the direct voices from the past, offering us unparalleled insights into a world long gone. But here's the most intriguing part. Many of these messages were written in scripts and languages that eventually fell silent. For centuries, they remained cryptic puzzles, their stories locked away. That's where the incredible work of archaeologists, epigraphists, and linguists comes in. They are the master detectives, piecing together fragments, analyzing patterns, and making brilliant intellectual leaps to unlock these ancient codes. Get ready to be transported, because in this video, we'll explore their enigmatic world and reveal the untold stories of our past. Alright, so we've set the stage. Now, let's dive into the absolute core of our topic, the power of inscriptions. Why are these ancient carvings, these seemingly mundane etchings on stone and metal, so incredibly vital to understanding India's past? Well, simply put, they are the undiluted, direct voices of the people who lived thousands of years ago. Imagine trying to piece together a massive historical puzzle, but most of your pieces are based on stories passed down through generations, or even later interpretations. That's where inscriptions come in. They are often our most reliable, first-hand accounts. They're like finding the original diary entries, the official government documents, or the personal letters from a bygone era, untouched by later retelling or biases. They offer a unique, immediate connection to the minds and lives of ancient Indians. Consider this: for much of India's ancient history, especially before the medieval period, we don't have extensive, continuously written chronicles like some other civilizations. What we do have, in astounding abundance, are inscriptions. They fill in the gaps, confirm what we suspect from other sources, and often, they reveal entirely new chapters of history we never knew existed. They tell us about kings we'd never heard of, battles that shaped empires, and laws that governed daily life, all directly from the source. Without them, vast stretches of ancient Indian history would remain shrouded in mystery, nothing more than fragmented myths or archaeological guesses. These aren't just dry historical facts. They're echoes of human lives. They reflect aspirations, fears, beliefs, and the very structure of societies. From the grand edicts of emperors proclaiming their vision for an entire continent, to humble records of a villager donating a piece of land to a temple, inscriptions connect us directly to the human experience across millennia. They bridge the vast chasm of time, allowing us to hear the intentions, the decrees, and even the personal sentiments of people who lived thousands of years ago. Now, when we talk about inscriptions, it's not just one uniform thing. Ancient Indians used a fascinating variety of materials and formats to leave their mark, and each type offers a unique window into their world. Understanding these different forms helps us appreciate the sheer breadth of information they provide. Let's explore some of the most significant categories. Perhaps the most iconic, and certainly among the most widespread, are the rock edicts and pillar inscriptions. These were typically grand, public declarations. Think of them as the official government bulletins or propaganda posters of their time. The most famous examples, of course, belong to Emperor Ashoka of the Mauryan Empire in the 3rd century BCE. His edicts, carved on massive rocks and polished sandstone pillars scattered across his vast empire, weren't just about administrative decrees. They were profound moral and ethical messages, promoting Dhamma, his vision of righteousness, nonviolence, and social welfare. These inscriptions tell us not just about his reign, but about his personal transformation after the Kalinga War, and his attempt to govern with compassion and wisdom. They are unparalleled in their reach and their insight into an ancient emperor's mind. Moving beyond the monumental, we have copper plate inscriptions. These are quite different in purpose. Imagine needing to record a legal document, like a land grant or a royal charter, something that needed to be permanent, portable, and easily verifiable. Copper plates fit the bill perfectly. These inscriptions were meticulously engraved on sheets of copper, often strung together like a book. They contain invaluable details about land ownership, administrative divisions, taxation systems, and the grants given to Brahmins, temples, or monasteries. They reveal the intricate economic and administrative structures of various kingdoms and often provide long genealogies of rulers, helping historians piece together dynastic successions. They are truly the ancient world's property deeds and legal archives. Then there are the cave inscriptions. India's landscape is dotted with natural caves and rock-cut sanctuaries that were often adopted by ascetics and monks. Within these, we find inscriptions detailing donations made for their upkeep, the names of patrons, and sometimes even the rules of the monastic orders. These give us a glimpse into the thriving ascetic traditions, particularly Buddhism and Jainism, and the widespread public support they received. They tell us about the donors, the artisans, and the religious life that flourished in these secluded spaces. And let's not forget the smaller, but equally significant, inscriptions found on seals and coins. Seals, often made of steatite or terracotta, particularly from the Indus Valley Civilization, present us with the earliest forms of writing in India, though still largely undeciphered. They offer tantalizing clues about ancient trade, administration, and possibly early religious beliefs. Coins, on the other hand, minted by various dynasties, carry the names and titles of rulers, their regnal years, and sometimes even depictions of deities or symbols. They are invaluable for establishing chronologies, understanding economic systems, and identifying the spread of political influence. They are history in your pocket. Beyond their historical data, inscriptions are also remarkable works of art and testament to the incredible evolution of writing itself. The scripts used in ancient India weren't static. They changed, adapted, and developed over millennia, each period leaving its own unique aesthetic footprint. Looking at them isn't just about reading, it's about appreciating the visual journey of written language. Let's start with the earliest, the Indus script, found primarily on those enigmatic seals from the Harappan civilization, dating back to around 2500–1900 BCE. These are pictographic or logographic, meaning symbols often represent objects or ideas. While still a mystery, their symmetrical arrangement and repetitive patterns hint at a sophisticated, organized writing system. It's a tantalizing glimpse into one of the world's oldest literate societies, showcasing an abstract beauty even in its undeciphered state. Then comes Brahmi, the mother of almost all modern Indian scripts. It emerged around the 3rd century BCE, most famously with Ashoka's edicts. Brahmi is characterized by its elegant, rounded, and often slightly angular strokes. It's a syllabic alphabet, meaning each character generally represents a consonant and a vowel. Its clarity and simplicity allowed for its widespread adoption across the subcontinent. The artistry here lies in its consistency and the masterful carving. Imagine the skill required to engrave these perfect characters onto hard rock. Its aesthetic is one of serene strength and public pronouncement. Alongside Brahmi, especially in the Northwest, we find Kharosthi script. This script is unique because, unlike Brahmi and its descendants, it's written from right to left, similar to Aramaic, from which it's thought to have derived. Its characters are more linear and angular compared to Brahmi's curves. While less widespread, its presence in regions like Gandhara highlights the cross-cultural exchanges that were vibrant in ancient India, especially with Central Asian and Persian influences. Its beauty lies in its distinct directionality and sharper forms. What truly distinguishes Indian inscriptions is their sheer vastness and unbroken continuity. India boasts arguably the largest, most sustained inscriptional record globally, with hundreds of thousands of known inscriptions spanning over 2 millennia, from the Indus Valley Civilization to modern printing. This isn't just a few isolated finds, It's an overwhelming volume of direct historical evidence found everywhere, on temples, caves, pillars, coins, and seals. This widespread presence highlights ancient Indian society's literacy and reliance on written records. Crucially, this continuity allows us to trace the evolution of dynasties, religious movements, and linguistic changes without significant gaps, offering nuanced historical understanding. Their diverse content also extends beyond kings and battles, revealing community life, donations, and village rules, providing a more democratic view of the past and giving voice to ordinary people. This makes Indian epigraphy a dynamic and vital field. As we conclude, I hope you grasp the immense significance of Indian inscriptions. They're the bedrock of ancient Indian history, providing dates, names, events, and philosophies. These aren't just old writings, they're the very fabric of historical truth, stitched into India's landscape, reminding us history endures through every etched mark. They are, quite simply, indispensable. In our last segment, we explored the immense power and sheer volume of ancient Indian inscriptions, understanding why they're so crucial. Now we confront the next, perhaps most fascinating question. How do we actually read these messages? How do archaeologists, linguists, and historians go about deciphering the code to unveil these lost stories? It's a task that sounds straight out of an adventure movie, and in many ways, it is. A relentless intellectual quest against time and obscurity. Imagine finding a diary from 1,000 years ago, written in a language no one living understands, in a script that looks utterly alien. That's the challenge epigraphists often face. Ancient Indian scripts, especially those that predate commonly understood languages, didn't come with an instruction manual. There was no Rosetta Stone for many of them. No neatly translated bilingual or trilingual texts that instantly unlocked their secrets. For centuries, many of these inscriptions lay silent, frustratingly close, yet entirely incomprehensible. The challenges are multi-layered. First, there's the language barrier. While some later inscriptions are in early forms of Sanskrit or various Prakrits that are somewhat understood, many are in archaic forms or entirely distinct languages that have no living descendants. It's like trying to understand Old English, but if Old English had completely disappeared from memory for 1,000 years. This means scholars aren't just learning a new alphabet, they're essentially resurrecting a dead tongue, relying on comparative linguistics and often sheer intuition grounded in immense knowledge. Then there's the script itself. Unlike modern, standardized typefaces, ancient scripts evolve. Letters change their appearance over centuries. Sometimes subtly, sometimes dramatically. A letter A from the 3rd century BCE might look completely different from an A in the 7th century CE. This requires immense expertise in paleography, the study of ancient writing systems and their evolution. Think of it as learning multiple handwriting styles from different centuries all at once. Not to mention the inherent degradation of the inscriptions themselves. Weathering, erosion, damage from human activity, and natural decay can make characters faint, fragmented, or completely illegible. Sometimes, only tiny fragments remain, demanding incredible patience and skill to piece together. Finally, there's the contextual puzzle. Inscriptions aren't usually standalone. They're part of a larger historical, religious, or political landscape. To truly understand them, you need to know about the rulers of the time, the prevailing religious beliefs, the social customs, and even the geography. Without this context, even a partially deciphered word might lose its true meaning or be misinterpreted entirely. So it's not just about cracking a code. It's about meticulously reconstructing an entire world around that code, connecting linguistic clues with archaeological evidence and historical records. Despite these daunting challenges, incredible breakthroughs have been made. The decipherment of ancient Indian scripts is a testament to human ingenuity, meticulous scholarship, and sheer persistence. It often involved individuals dedicating their entire lives to these cryptic puzzles, building on the work of those who came before them, and laying the groundwork for all who followed. The most famous and foundational breakthrough was the decipherment of the Brahmi script in the 1830s by the brilliant British antiquarian and numismatist James Prinsep. Prinsep wasn't just working in a quiet library. He was deeply involved in cataloging coins and inscriptions from across British India serving in the Calcutta Mint. His work provides a masterclass in epigraphic detective work, a blend of scientific method, tireless dedication, and a flash of genius. Prinsep's systematic approach began with what he could understand. He started with ancient coins from the Indo-Greek kingdoms in the northwest. Many of these coins had inscriptions in two scripts: Greek, which was understood by scholars, and an unknown script, which we now know was Kharosthi. By painstakingly comparing the known Greek names of rulers with the unknown script on the same coins, he began to identify individual letters and their corresponding sounds in Kharosthi. This bilingual approach, though not a full Rosetta Stone for Brahmi, was a crucial first step, giving him a working methodology. But Brahmi was even more widespread and presented a different kind of challenge, as bilingual coins were less common for it. For Brahmi, Prinsep turned to the vast collection of pillar and rock edicts found across India. He noticed something consistent. Many of these inscriptions, scattered across widely separated geographical areas, consistently referred to a king named Devanam Priya Priyadasi, beloved of the gods, he who looks with affection. The name appeared everywhere, always rendered with the same set of consistent characters. This repetition was a massive clue. He also focused on dedicatory inscriptions found on Buddhist stupas and caves, which often began or ended with similar, formulaic phrases. By analyzing these common phrases, known names, and particularly numerical sequences, which tend to be consistent across languages, he started to build a phonetic alphabet. He observed that many inscriptions in Buddhist contexts ended with a consistent group of characters, which he deduced might be the ending particle danam, meaning gift or donation, a word known from Pali texts. This hypothesis, confirmed by its consistent appearance, started to solidify his phonetic deductions for those specific characters. One of his most brilliant techniques involved analyzing vowel markings. Brahmi, like many Indian scripts, is an abugida, a writing system where consonants inherently carry a default vowel sound, usually a, and other vowel sounds are indicated by diacritics, or special marks, attached to the consonant. Prinsep noticed these consistent markings and correctly deduced they represented different vowels. Once he cracked the vowel system, how a single consonant character could be modified to make ka, ki, ku, ke, ko, the entire logical structure of the script began to reveal itself. It was the key that truly unlocked the full Brahmi alphabet. By systematically comparing letter forms across various inscriptions from different regions, by cross-referencing names and titles with Buddhist chronicles and other historical texts, and by a truly extraordinary blend of linguistic insight and painstaking analysis, Prinsep gradually built up the entire Brahmi alphabet. It was a monumental achievement, akin to reconstructing a complex machine from thousands of scattered, unlabeled parts. And once Brahmi was understood, it became the master key to unlocking the vast majority of other ancient Indian inscriptions, as nearly all later Indian scripts derived directly from it. Prinsep literally gave ancient India back its voice. The decipherment of Brahmi wasn't a single flash of lightning, but a painstaking process that took years. Prinsep worked tirelessly, often in isolation, plagued by ill health from exposure to chemicals used in his work with ancient metals. He died young, at just 36, but his legacy is immeasurable. He single-handedly unlocked ancient Indian history, pulling countless narratives from centuries of oblivion. His methods laid the groundwork for all future epigraphic studies in India and remain a foundational example of decipherment anywhere in the world. While James Prinsep's work was foundational, modern epigraphy now uses an expanded toolkit. Beyond traditional estampages, digital photography, especially RTI, reflex transformation imaging, is vital for revealing faint details. Advanced linguistic analysis leverages vast databases and computational tools for understanding ancient languages. Comparative studies remain crucial, cross-referencing inscriptions with literary and archaeological evidence to build a fuller picture. The advent of digital humanities, machine learning, and AI is transforming the field by enabling rapid data analysis and pattern identification. Ultimately, it's a deeply collaborative effort, bringing together diverse experts to reconstruct the past. We've now grasped why inscriptions are so vital and how scholars painstakingly decipher them. But what do they actually say? What are these tales untold, hidden within ancient stone and metal? This is where the true magic happens, where dry historical facts transform into living narratives, painting vivid pictures of ancient Indian life, thought, and society. These aren't just lists of kings or dates, they're the very fabric of human experience, preserved for millennia. For too long, history was often presented as grand narratives of kings, battles, and empires. While inscriptions certainly provide ample material for those stories, their true power lies in going far beyond. They peel back the layers of time to reveal the intricacies of daily life, the nuances of religious belief, the complexities of social structures, and the personal aspirations of individuals, from the highest echelons of power to the humblest artisans. Imagine reconstructing an entire civilization based solely on archaeological remains, pottery shards, ruined buildings, forgotten tools. You can infer a lot, but you can't hear their voices, understand their laws, or grasp their philosophies. Inscriptions provide that missing voice. They bridge the gap between mute artifacts and living history, allowing us to understand the why behind the what. They transform ancient ruins from mere structures into stages where human dramas unfolded. They tell us about the aspirations of rulers, the piety of devotees, the generosity of merchants, and the skills of craftsmen. They reveal the laws that governed communities, the taxes that supported kingdoms, and the disputes that arose between neighbors. They open windows into family life, educational practices, trade networks, and even the natural environment through references to flora, fauna, and geographical features. In essence, inscriptions allow us to step into the minds and worlds of ancient Indians, understanding their perspectives on life, death, and everything in between. They truly are the closest we can get to conversations with the past. Let's start with the grand narratives, the political and administrative stories that shape the subcontinent. Inscriptions are absolutely indispensable for reconstructing the rise and fall of empires, the reigns of powerful kings, and the intricate machinery of ancient governance. They are the official records, the royal decrees, and the eulogies that proclaim power and legacy. The most iconic examples, of course, are the edicts of Emperor Ashoka, carved onto massive rocks and towering pillars across his vast Mauryan Empire in the 3rd century BCE. These aren't just administrative directives, they are a profound moral and ethical discourse. Ashoka, after his conversion to Buddhism, used these inscriptions to propagate his philosophy of Dhamma, a code of conduct emphasizing nonviolence, religious tolerance, and compassion. We learn about his remorse after the bloody Kalinga War, his efforts to establish hospitals, and his appointment of Dhamma Mahamatras to spread his message. These edicts reveal a unique attempt at governance based on moral principles. Moving forward, consider the Prayagraj Prashasti, or the Allahabad pillar inscription of Samudragupta from the 4th century CE. This isn't a decree, it's a prashasti, a eulogy composed by his court poet, Harisena. It details Samudragupta's military campaigns, his conquests across vast swaths of India, and his accomplishments as a scholar and patron of the arts. It's a vivid, poetic account of his imperial ambitions, providing historians with a detailed roadmap of his strategic genius. Without this inscription, our understanding of the Gupta Empire's expansion would be far more limited. Inscriptions also illuminate the mechanics of governance. We find countless land-grant charters, often inscribed on copper plates, detailing grants of land to Brahmins, temples, or monasteries. These aren't just records of donations. They reveal intricate land tenure systems, types of taxes collected, administrative divisions of kingdoms, and the hierarchy of officials. They show us how territories were managed, how resources were distributed, and how the state interacted with local communities and religious institutions. They are the ancient world's bureaucratic records, providing granular detail on the daily workings of power. Beyond the grand pronouncements of kings, inscriptions offer fascinating glimpses into the everyday lives, social customs, and economic activities of common people. Many record donations and endowments not just by kings, but by ordinary citizens. A weaver donating a cave dwelling, a potter constructing a water tank, or a guild of oil pressers endowing a lamp in a temple. These reveal the economic prosperity of different professions, the importance of guilds, and the prevalent culture of philanthropy. Inscriptions also shed light on social structures and hierarchies, marriage practices, and family relationships. We even see the agency of women, often recorded making religious donations or building temples. Furthermore, they provide insights into public works and community life, detailing the construction of wells, tanks, and irrigation canals for public welfare. We also learn about trade and commerce from inscriptions mentioning merchant guilds and trade regulations. Perhaps no other aspect of ancient Indian life is as profoundly illuminated as its rich and diverse spiritual and religious landscape. For Buddhism and Jainism, inscriptions are gold mines, revealing their spread and monastic practices. For Hinduism, they document the rise of Vaishnavism, Shaivism, and Shaktism, recording temple constructions and rituals. Inscriptions also often reflect the remarkable religious pluralism and tolerance that characterized much of ancient Indian society, with rulers patronizing multiple faiths. These inscriptions are not just historical documents. They are a direct line to the spiritual heart of ancient India. They reveal the profound devotion, the complex philosophies, and the vibrant religious practices that shaped the lives and worldview of millions across millennia. These are the truly tales untold, waiting for us to uncover. We've reached the end of our journey into the world of ancient Indian inscriptions, from understanding their immense power to deciphering their cryptic messages, and finally exploring the captivating tales untold they've revealed. Now, as we draw to a close, let's reflect on their enduring legacy. Why do these ancient carvings, often thousands of years old, continue to resonate with us today? The enduring legacy of ancient Indian inscriptions lies in their role as the undeniable testament to a civilization's genius and resilience. They are not just historical artifacts, they are direct voices from the past, whispering stories of human endeavor, innovation, and belief. They prove that across millennia, people sought to communicate, to record, and to leave their mark. They remind us that the rich tapestry of Indian history, its languages, its philosophies, and its vibrant cultures has deep, tangible roots that extend back through time, unbroken. This legacy isn't just about what they tell us, but also how they continue to shape our understanding and inspire future generations. For historians, they are an unending source of new discoveries. For linguists, they are the living laboratory of language evolution. For artists and cultural enthusiasts, they are a profound source of inspiration, showcasing traditions that stretch back for millennia. Ultimately, bridging the gap between ancient inscriptions and modernity is about connection. These inscriptions offer profound lessons and perspectives that remain deeply relevant to contemporary issues. From Ashoka's call for interfaith harmony to the detailed community initiatives for water management, these ancient voices provide historical precedents for societal organization and ethical governance that can still resonate today. They are a powerful reminder that the past is never truly lost but simply waits to be deciphered and understood. Its story is your story, waiting to be heard.